how to stay focused and stick to things long term, especially when things take too long to produce results. As well, how do I keep track of these long term projects?
Yeah. So this is this is tough, right? Playing the long game is tough, and I mean, it connects to a lot of the stuff we've been talking about because you have all these things available to you that are rewarding much quicker than playing the long game, right? You can get a little dopamine hit very quickly and easily, and here you're supposed to like struggle away at whatever, building your business for 2 or 3 years before you get any real success, right? Which is normal, by the way, right? It's like that's almost every entrepreneur's story, is that they struggle away for a number of years before anything really happens, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to do. And it's the same with acquiring skills, right? I mean, most skills are you can have like a motivating, you get better at it quickly in the beginning, but to get your skill to a level where it really makes a difference, where you can get paid for it and stuff like that, it's usually like a few years of struggling away, right? So yes, that is hard to do. And I think that what I would focus on here is identity, in the sense of, think of who do I want to be, okay? And be less goal and outcome dependent. So, and for me, this is, and I've also been through this many times, by the way, right? Because I've started multiple businesses, and I've kind of gone down a new career path several times in my life. And so I've been at that starting point of a long journey several times. And it's still hard to do. Okay, it's still hard to do, and it can be unmotivating when you're like grinding away at a thing and it's not, you still don't know if it's going to work or not, and so on, right? It's hard to do. For me, the thing that keeps me going is often connected to, who do I choose to be? Who do I want to be in this situation, right? So instead of thinking like, okay, I want to do this because I think it's going to make me rich, and then I'm constantly demotivated because I'm not rich yet, I'm thinking, well, I want to be someone who, works hard, has makes a plan and sticks to it. I want to be someone who does what he said he was going to do. I want to be someone who has grit and endurance. I want to be someone who isn't discouraged just because things are a little bit hard, right? And so in that way, these challenges are a test of my character. That's essentially how I frame it, right? This is where I can either prove that I'm the kind of person I want to be, or where it turns out that I was deluding myself the whole time.
Right.
And obviously, and so that is something that keeps me motivated, because I go, okay, once again, I get to choose who I want to be. Once again, my character is being tested in a way. Right. So that is something that helps me gain, longer term, let's say, endurance for this kind of stuff. The other thing is that I want to make sure that I have clarity about the plan, and essentially I want to be working on a plan that I believe has a high chance of success. So in other words, and actually the easiest way to do that is to have something or someone to model off of. So if I'm working on a business, let's say, I want to have a business plan where I'm like, listen, I'm pretty sure that this works because it's kind of similar to something someone else has already done, right? So if I'm following a business plan, and that can be into the details, right? It's this kind of product for this kind of customer, and I have this kind of marketing plan. If I can look at this and say, well, look, I'm doing this in my niche, and over here in another niche, there's a pretty similar business, similar kind of business plan, similar kind of marketing plan. It clearly worked for them. I can see their success, and I can, and maybe several examples like that. And I can basically say, look, I can reasonably believe that if I do the same kind of work they did,
Right,
and produce the same kind of quality content and product and so on that they did, and I do it in my niche, I can reasonably assume that this is going to work eventually, right?
Yeah.
And the clearer I am about this kind of, about the plan and how it's a realistic plan, the easier it is for me to stick with it. Whereas, if I'm kind of just staying with the example of a business, right? If I start a business and I'm like, well, I'm doing something no one's ever done before, and I basically have no idea if this works or not. admittedly, this is often the kinds of businesses that become huge,
Yeah.
start like that, right? You're doing something no one's ever done before, that becomes $1 billion business. But like 999 times out of 100, out of 1,000, it becomes nothing.
Yeah.
Most businesses that try to do something that's never been done before never go anywhere. So, and that's why I don't pursue that type of business. And it's also in my personal life, right? I'm not trying to do something completely new. Rather, I look at other examples of people where I'm like, I want to become like this person, or I want to live this kind of life. And where again, I can have the reasonable belief if I pursue these skills and if I pursue these things long enough, I can probably get similar results because other people have already done it.
Right. You're increasing the probability of success, right?
Yeah. And that's how I see it. Again, this is what gives me conviction, where I'm like, oh yeah, sure, things are hard, but then again, I can look at other examples of success and, or read an autobiography of someone who's succeeded and be like, oh, look, this guy also struggled for the first 10 years of his career or something. So everything's basically still going according to plan, right? To me, yeah, that's the stuff that really gives me like the long-term endurance, right? And of course, it helps to have things that you can track, that give you a sense of progress.
Right.
And that's another part which it is very useful. You can say, look, so for example, with video content, right? Look, it's obviously you want millions of subscribers and you want every video to go viral and whatnot, right? But until that happens, you can look at, well, how many videos am I making? That's something that is measurable and is in your control. And you can set yourself a goal. It's like, okay, I want to make 100 videos this year or something like that, right? And you can say, okay, that is like my leading indicator essentially. That's the thing where if I make enough videos and they're good enough and I keep doing it, eventually it becomes successful, right?
Right.
So before you have that breakthrough, or before you have a steep growth curve, you can measure things and you can set your own goals of things that you can control, such as, publishing a number of videos, or finishing a project, finishing your first product or online course or whatever it is, or reaching out to a number of potential clients, whatever, right? Stuff that you can control. And that can keep you motivated because you can say, okay, I've done my 10 this week or whatever.
Yeah.